everybody, this is Lisa and welcome to The Search. I'm excited to bring today that justice is being served after just only 1 year. So that is what we are going to be talking about today. We are talking about the case with involving Mercedes Vega as the victim. We are going to talk about the arrest of Sincere Hayes. Also, I come on here at least 2 times a week. I try to. At least I cover all crime and I do a little bit of variety. Sometimes I do a little unfiltered Lisa and just talk about maybe a trial going on, something else, sometimes even non crime. I love reviewing products, beauty stuff, just having a little fun, game nights, which is why we're bringing back live. Anyway, that's what I do. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Let's get into this. First of all, this story happened on April 16th, 2023. Mercedes Vega was leaving her home at 9 p.m. at night. She was making a decision if she was going to go somewhere to eat or like Dave and Buster's. It looked like when she was coming out of her apartment, she was dressed normally. She even had her tennis shoes on, which is a big fact. She had talked to a couple friends. By the end of the night, nobody had talked to her. That was pretty much the end of things. Like, oh, whoever, talking to, I might go just get me something to eat, whatever. So anyway, figured that she just went on to work because she didn't go out to anywhere else. In fact, she had moved into this place because where she lived before was a little sketch. This one was not too bad. She lived in Tempe, Arizona, right in the area where it was like the college scene, the ones that had already graduated, a very uplifting type of area in town, and it was somewhere that she really felt like a part of. They say like the Arizona State University is kind of like the center of the area, so I can imagine when the football games are going on and things, are happening, it's probably one of those little towns. People felt pretty safe there. Of course, everywhere, especially in cities, I mean, you got to be careful, but there are some, I think, people do let their guards down more. So, anyway, like I said, we're on April 16th, 2023, and she goes out, and once she makes her last text, nobody hears anything, figures she goes on to work. Well, unfortunately, in the middle of April 17th, on into the night the next morning, the parents get a call. The parents are Tom and Erica Pillsbury. Now, technically, Tom is the stepfather, but loved her and raised her as if it was his own. Erica is her biological mother. She has 4 siblings and 1 brother. It is a well-blended family that all loved each other so much. So they get a call. They are told that the victim's body was found on April 17th, 2023 in the back seat of a burning car outside of Tonopah, an unincorporated community about 60 miles west of Vegas home in Tempe. So it's like, what is she doing out that way? So on Monday, the sheriff's office spoke. Sergeant Monica Bratato said Hayes was arrested November 11th, which we will get into. This is the thing, guys. When they called out to the parents to say that they had found their daughter, and unfortunately she was deceased, they assumed that it was in her vehicle. Now, I want you to know that the family, they actually stayed silent for a while because I believe they were trying to see if somebody would come out because there was some like evidence or something that if somebody said might would help. They had lines open. It was a while before they said anything. So the mother gets a call, guys, saying from somebody they need to come move their car because like you can't just keep your car there. They were gonna tow it. She was like, "Excuse me? Can you imagine a mom has gone through all this and they get a call? Assume that the daughter's car had burned up, with her. No, the reason that they did this is because it wasn't her car that she burned in. It was another car that they have no connection to anybody with. Yeah. So that car there, the reason they called is because they had signed on the note for it. So they knew to reach them. So I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. I mean, I hate when there's sloppy work. You know what I mean? Yes, things can happen, but not when it comes to putting parents through things. I want to tell you real quick a little bit about her. She was someone that really was up spirited. I know we hear this a lot when people pass away, but when they are young, you do meet a lot that are very up spirited and they want to help others, and that's what she did. Look, she loved to play the violin, she loved horses. She actually had a horse named Cash growing up. I guess she was motivated for that cash, honey. Guess she was. She also enjoyed swimming, horseback riding. She wanted to be the best that she could be. She enjoyed doing some traveling. She really was a good person and she was trying to just make it out there. Her goal was to be a professional trainer. All right, so she cared about her body, she cared about health. One thing they brought up on USA Today says prior to her death, Vega worked part time as a dancer at a club. NBC News reported in April her family said she planned to quit dancing, open up a gym, and become a personal trainer. Flyers distributed by Vega's family and friends said she was last seen the night before her death as she walked to her car in the parking garage at her apartment where she lived. I read another article and it said in there the person responsible basically was arrested for burning alive a former exotic dancer. Why would you say that? Why? Exotic dancer is not her name. So everybody say her name. Mercedes Vega burned up in a car. A person that loved animals, that loved swimming, that uplifted people and worked hard because she was trying to open up her own business. This is why I did this. This is why it needs to be shared. This is why people need to hear this because they matter. They matter. They are no different. They're somebody's child's sister. Like I said, she has four sisters, one brother. Do you think that's what they want to read? Have some respect. Have some respect. And they are just as important. And this should be viral. Why isn't this viral? That we are so fortunate now to have caught who has done this allegedly until convicted. Why is this everywhere? It gets me just gets me going. Just gets me going. I want to tell you a little bit about the autopsy. And this is a little trigger, but I want to tell you that when they arrested, his name is Sincere Hayes. He's 22 years old. He was picked up in Tennessee. Now, at the time when I was reading everything and doing it, this was on November 11th. They were working on extradition to get him back to Arizona. And as of then, at the time when this was going on, they didn't even know if he had like an attorney to even be talking with. So I'm not quite sure on that end. I'm still trying to find more because I am going to follow this. And especially if he decides to plead not guilty or whatever he decides to do, I want to be there to follow it. She never wore tennis shoes. She always wore heels or flip flops. But she never wore tennis shoes. She just wasn't a tennis shoe person. Well, I want to tell you, when the mom went to the garage, once they found out that the car was not hers. Okay, it all made sense. When she went back to the apartment, of course, the car was gone, right? But they weren't sure quite where this attack took place, what happened. And the mom said she had noticed a print of blood that looked like tennis shoes. But, it said, well, she never wore tennis shoes, it wasn't that. The mom, of course, goes back and looks at that video of her coming out of her apartment. And guess what? She's wearing tennis shoes. Yeah, I know. It's amazing how, oh, well, we've known she never wears them. Well, she was wearing them, okay? She was wearing them. I know maybe you think all dancers do is wear boots up to their thighs or heels, or you think that that's their everyday wear, but no, dancers wear tennis shoes, guys. They do. Guys, gals, they do. All right. So, anyway, at this time, like I said, it took a while for them to come out because they wanted to hear details. And I want you to know because there was a lot of details in this torture that this man did. All right. I want to just kind of give you a little trigger warning. Okay. Basically, she had been struck in the head, which could have been to get her into the car. She was then shot, and she was fighting hard, y'all, because that wasn't good enough either. And then she was forced bleach down her throat. And even with all that done, you want to know what caused her death? Smoke. Yeah. In the car. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's torture. So I want you to know that they are going for life, first degree. The autopsy did say she was not SA'd. Thank you. Not that any of all this is worse. I will be definitely covering it. So again, if you missed any part of it, the fella that is being picked up for this is Sincere Hayes. He is 22 years old, and when they got him, he was in Tennessee trying to get him extradited back to Arizona. All this is fresh. I don't have a whole lot of information. In fact, at the time, they weren't even sure, like I said, if he had a attorney, present with him. But the family is so thankful. I want you to know that once they let the cat out of the bag and started really talking about her, and when they were trying to get clues and more information, they were her friends. I know there was one like Mackenzie. During interviews, she really spoke, and a lot of her friends, boy, they hit the ground running. Boots on the ground is where it is at. They were posting up flyers. They were getting together and doing memorial services and, letting balloons off and just really keeping her name alive. Not exotic dancer. No, they were keeping Mercedes Vegas alive. So she ended up being cremated. And in her obituary, her mom ended it with saying, Mercedes always said that her soul always belonged in Hawaii. So that is where she is going to be spread. Guys, I just ask that you subscribe. It is free. Sharing is free. Commenting is free. We need more cases like this trending. People need to see what's going on out there. We need to get that stigma off of people being less than, like they're not worth looking into their murder. No, they are. Anybody is. Now, at the end of every broadcast, I do a ribbon. A ribbon represents a prayer for justice. So now that we have picked up Hayes, who is 22, we are now having a ribbon for Miss Mercedes Vega. She was born March 10th, 01 in Gone Too Soon, 4/17/23. And guys, I want to again thank you. If you've made it this far, you can put a ribbon in the chat. Or if you are a member, I actually have a little membership. There are my own little ribbons that I had created on my other platform, represents the warriors. So you can look into that. I have the $2.99 search warriors, the $4.99 lead detectives that give different things. And as we grow, we will add on and do more tiers. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode, and I will see you on the next Search with Lisa. Good night, everybody.